What's up, YouTube? We're a couple of cunts, we're in the countryside, we're talking about zombies. So zombies are pretty ubiquitous in our popular culture these days.
I was going to say, they've got to that same level as when you need a go-to bad guy for a movie. They're sort of like going in the exact same area as Nazis and just generic aliens. If you need something to blow up, Nazis, zombies, aliens, one of the three, or possibly
Nazi
sometimes.
zombies.
I was about to say these days, if there's Nazi zombies, you know, it's only so long before literally everything gets merged into one faceless bad guy, which nobody feels bad about killing.
Yeah, I am waiting for the pirate ninja cowboy lumberjack that, you know, Chuck Norris is going to beat up in his next movie. But yeah, like seriously, you can't open a magazine or turn on a TV, or in particular buy a game without some sort of zombie thing coming up. It's like, I think the first game that introduced a proper zombie mod was one of the Call of Duty games. I don't give a fuck about Call of Duty, so I'm probably wrong, but I remember reading something about, yeah, there was a mod where like the enemies were zombies or whatever, and then it just got worse and worse, and you got like the Red Dead Redemption zombie, you know, which was basically like an extra game and shit.
Some areas do, you know, initial concept of zombie very well. Others might shoehorn it in later and still have a reasonable attempt at it. There have been some good versions of stuff like that, but it's one of those areas now that, as you say, it's crept into modern culture so much. It's so many places, it's almost difficult to do it well.
Speaking of games in particular, there are a lot of good zombie games. Left 4 Dead, which playing with people is great. We me and the missus and Computer Joe and our friend Cage used to get on Xbox Live and play a lot of multiplayer Left 4 Dead, and the thing is, we were taking it less seriously than everyone else, because we basically just dicked about. There was one time in particular when we got put against 4 people, and at least one of them was taking it way too seriously, and they were like proper strategizing and really tactical. It came our turn to be the infected. We were just like, whatever, I'll puke on you. Oh no, you've blown me up. But it got to the point where we got to the last level, it was the hospital roof, and I got spawned as the tank, and I went and punched this cunt off the roof, and he rage quit, and it was so satisfying. Like, I don't even care that they're like 600 points above us. I made that guy rage quit, so I consider that a win. Also, the Walking Dead game is amazing. It's actually kind of ruined other games for me a bit, in that the level of interactivity and the choices you can make in the Walking Dead game are so good and so deep. Playing something like, I don't know, GTA 5, as amazing as that game is, afterwards I just felt, oh, you know, I could do a bit more. But yeah, I don't know if you've played that.
I haven't, no.
It may be an Xbox exclusive, so you're shit out of luck, but yeah.
I don't really care, but I've heard various things about Walking Dead and stuff, but it's one of those areas I'm yet to check out. I will get round to it at some point, but for the most part I know nothing about it.
I've read the comics, I don't collect individual issues of comics, but I read trade paperbacks, and I've read every trade that The Walking Dead released so far. 20 trades in, and it's still brilliant. Not watched a single episode of the TV show, because it would make me rage. I mean, people who are book purists about A Song of Ice and Fire complain that Game of Thrones is slaughtering the source material. Try being a fucking Walking Dead fan.
I heard that came out, I think it was last year actually, it came out, World War Z. I heard literally the amount that references the source material is pretty much the title. The amount it has, I haven't seen the film, I don't know anything about the book, or lots of fanboys were annoyed with that. Resident Evil is a good place to talk about zombies. That was, I think, my first place I was ever really shown it. I think it was 12th or 13th, I'm pretty sure it was my 12th birthday, I got given Resident Evil 2. Fucking terrifying.
That's not an appropriate game to play at that age.
No, I know, I asked for it, I didn't expect to get it, and I got it, it's like, well, I gotta play this now. I'm fucking terrified. I could only ever play it in like 2-hour bursts. I was just sort of there like, ooh.
Did you ever watch Danger 50,000 Volts, that series Nick Frost presented on, like, surviving
oh god, yeah, that was on
shit?
like 10 years ago.
Did you see Danger 50,000 Zombies? It was basically him and Simon Pegg telling you how to survive a zombie apocalypse. So fucking funny. The whole thing is on YouTube, so after you've watched this video and given us the likes and the shares and everything, go and watch it, because it is really funny. You talk about you know, Night of the Living Dead, or, you know, 28 Days Later, whatever. Shaun of the Dead is my second favourite zombie film ever made. It just is brilliant. It's such a, it spoofs it so well, and it is just such a great film. My favourite is Wreck, which is a Spanish film, which is just
shit scary.
Oh my god, absolutely terrifying. It was taking zombies back to their roots, like, shit, they're really scary and they're going to kill us all, not let's tool up with flamethrowers and M16 and kick some ass.
Nope.
Speaking of funny zombie films, how have we not mentioned Brain Dead yet?
I don't know if that was supposed to be funny or if it was just so cheap it ended up being funny, but yeah, those...
Oh, come on, it couldn't possibly be meant to be taken seriously. A
make
fucking guy who looks like Father Ted karate chopping and drop kicking zombies.
Yeah,
and
the
a
lawnmower.
giant rat mother putting her son back into her vagina.
That bit came up as a countdown of the creepiest things ever on film the other day. I don't think it was Cracked for a change, it was some other website I was on, and that came in at like number 2 or number 3. The creepiest bit going. But yeah, no, that film is... There's a brilliant bit where the main character, Lionel, for some reason decides that there's a zombie baby. It's not a baby that gets bitten by a zombie. 2 zombies have a baby in the film.
A zombie priest and a zombie nurse.
Just to clarify this. Which then have this zombie baby. And for some reason, the main character, and there's no outbreak at this time, it's just like 5 zombies in his house. For some reason, the main character then decides to take the zombie baby out for a walk. So he takes it in the pram, which has like barbed wire on, takes it to the park, it gets out of the pram, it goes to eat another kid. So he obviously can't let the other mothers know what's going on. So he runs and picks up this baby, starts bashing it on a swing. There's this brilliant scene for like 3-4 minutes where he's just fighting this kid. He's kicking it, he's picking it up, he's throwing it down the slide, he's bashing it off the swings, everything. There's all these horrified mothers looking at it, and without missing a beat, he puts it in a bag, zips it up, walks away, and sort of goes, "Little bug is hyperactive." It just keeps walking. I don't know if that was improvised or written, but whoever wrote that deserves a fucking medal.
I know it sounds like he just made that up, but that is honest to God how it happened. And it's directed by Peter Jackson. It's like 10 years before he made Lord of the Rings and everything. And another ridiculous kind of funny zombie movie is Versus, which is like a Japanese kung fu zombie movie.
It is one of the best things ever made.
It's so good.
There's all these really weird Japanese jokes going on in there. The sort of like main protagonist keeps up beating up the woman he's supposed to be looking after. So there's all these really fucking dark jokes and stuff going on. And yeah, there's zombies and there's all these really, really smartly dressed Yakuza guys just shooting them and beating them up and stuff. It shouldn't make sense, and it really doesn't.
It doesn't make sense.
It really works well as a film. I was just sort of thinking, I don't know if you agree with this, there's essentially 4, you can basically look at this 4 different kinds of zombies, right?
Okay, educate me.
What I was thinking about this, like you've either got zombies which are there due to some sort of magic or a curse, zombies which are there due to some biological or chemical agent like a virus, and then you've got your fast-moving, usually slightly more intelligent zombies, and then you've got your slow, shuffling, usually dumber zombies. And you've pretty much got a combination thereof from there.
Yeah,
you know?
I was going to say, once you'd listed magic and science, I was like, that's kind of it. Barring some sort of divine intervention. Yeah, and the 2 usually, like, the magic is usually the shuffling Romero zombies. The biological chemical, that's your 28 days later rabbit.
But something which then I picked up on from that, which made me more interested. Would you say the ones in 28 Days Later zombies are just infected because they don't actually die to become zombies?
Yeah, I know. I'm sick of that.
Yeah, I know. I don't
so
want to get
many
too much
people
about
get
this.
completely anal about it. No, they're not zombies. They're infected. They're close enough, and people call them zombies.
I agree. I'd use a zombie as an umbrella term, being either undead or infected. I'm not interested in the semantics there myself.
Do you have a contingency plan for the inevitable zombie apocalypse?
Funny you mention that, actually, because there's a few places now, notably, I think it was the Pentagon or something like that, and there was a Freedom of Information request, I think, for Bristol City Council not so long ago. People were asking them about zombie plans. Now, they know it's very, very unlikely, but places are starting to get this. I think my main thing, I don't live in a particularly well-fortified house, I don't think, but I am far enough away from a major population centre compared to you. I wouldn't be quite so worried. I had, you know, a decent amount of notice. Go to B&Q. I've already got a sledgehammer and a baseball bat, which is metal, which wouldn't break quite so easily. I'd get something long and sharp, probably something like an axe or something like that, or a decent-sized bladed weapon, or anything I could get a blade off of and affix to sort of like that yay length. Probably get a couple of them, and I'd be quite happy with that. Then just get canned food, bottled water. See where it goes.
Now, speaking of World War Z, that's one thing they didn't include in the film. That had pretty much the ultimate zombie killing weapon. It was like a pick combined with a spade. It had like a serrated edge and shit. I believe the ultimate place to hide out in a zombie apocalypse is an offshore oil rig.
That is
because zombies cannot swim and they can't climb particularly well. So if you're in an offshore oil rig, you're essentially, you know, they
providing
can't reach
you've got
you.
enough supplies.
Well, that's it. I mean, it's like with any siege, there comes a point where you're fucked by starvation. But yeah, so when the zombie apocalypse happens, get your ass out to an offshore oil rig, or a prison is another good one.
It would be a lot less interesting in this
Army
country.
base.
With regards to the fact that we don't have anywhere near the number of firearms as other countries.
Yeah, but
I can expect in other countries it might go a lot differently.
Firearms are not going to do you any good in a zombie apocalypse because the ammo is very finite.
This is
they
true.
make a lot of noise and attract a lot of attention, and you know,
You've read
people with guns, they're just as bad as zombies.
This is true. You've read that same Cracked article where it's talking about.
Oh Jesus! I've read so much on, you know, not just zombie apocalypse but general apocalypse survival things. I've got my shit down. You know, whatever happens, I've got a contingency plan. When it actually came to pass, I wouldn't have a chance to do it. I'd probably
I'd give you a ring. It's like, right, I'll pick up a couple of swords, come by your place, we'll be cool.
We've been a couple of cunts in the countryside, and if you enjoyed this video, like, favourite, share, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. If you didn't enjoy it, well, we have been giving you zombie survival tips, so maybe you deserve to die. Feel free to suggest a topic for us to talk about in a future episode, and we will see you next time.
Unless you a zombie.